public sector corruption, that's what we're focusing on this morning, today on Sunrise Daily. And we're joined by Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, who is the former Minister of Education and co-founder of Transparency International. She joins us from our Abuja studios. Okay. All right. We'll be doing that one much later in the program today. But we'll be going over now to Dr. Kemi Rotimi. So that means talking about security. Dr. Kemi Rotimi is a police historian. He's a scholar. He's an author. So many books on history and Nigerian police. Morning, Dr. Rotimi, and thank you for joining us today. Well, speaking about corruption, I beg your pardon, it keeps getting into my head. Speaking about security in the country at the moment, and just looking at the headlines, wow, very, very gory, sad, and some say shocking, others not so surprised. But you have, we had a statement from GNI yesterday saying security agencies needed to step up, but you have been monitoring these developments. What's your perspective on the goings-on in terms of security in the country?
Thank you very much, Chamberlain and your team. I'm worried about the enduring Pakistanization of northern Nigeria. And my greater worry now is about the implications for intergroup relations of this crisis. Now, if we take it from the Kano incident of Monday, a motor park is a busy place. And whoever attacks a busy motor park like the one that was attacked in Kano on Monday should have reckoned with the impact on the people that are likely to be most affected. That's a motor park from which those who are traveling down south take up. And a typical luxury bus will take about 70 to 80 passengers, official and unofficial. And when you detonate a bomb with the charge remains, as we can see, you know what that means. So for me, it's about the unpredictability of this incident and then the impact. When you were reviewing the papers earlier this morning, you showed gory pictures of survivors. The man who no longer has his nose, and the one who collected his intestines with his wrapper and stuff like that. These are not things that people will view from outside of that region and feel good. So everybody who can do something about bringing down the unpredictability and the irrationality should please get to action. The government clearly has lost control, and now the ordinary citizen has no way of fully protecting himself from these attacks. So I'm really worried and I'm distressed. But the larger worry is about, or the greater worry is about the impact on intergroup relations. The larger worry is about...
Well, Dr. Rotimi, this worry can also be shared by some Nigerians. Let's talk about public places and specifically the motor park there in Kano State. It brings to mind what the citizens as well as maybe neighborhood watch. What do you think in times like this the people on their own can do to really help in nipping this in the bud or reduce the carnages we see from the terrorists in our midst?
It's still about collection of intelligence and the utilization of information from that source. But we don't even know now if anybody is still seriously helping to collect intelligence on the activities of groups like the Boko Haram. And the group has demonstrated that it is about 2 or 3 steps ahead of their co-combatants, I will call them, that is the security agents. For the ordinary citizen, I'm sure that in many of these towns where you have this crisis, people have formed themselves into groups trying to monitor the activities of stranger elements in their midst. But this group has an intractability about it and determination. And then, as I said, because you cannot be too sure where the fire will erupt next time, it's so difficult. I mean, in a city like Kano, what can the people do? Will people stop will people stop traveling? Will they stop patronizing motor parks? And there's a worry now. The railway system is being reactivated. Now, we have had this incident in motor park. Now, it's safe to predict that maybe the next time they'll be striking in a railway station. So, for the ordinary citizen, I'm sure that they are doing the best that they can to stay alive, but how far can they go?
All right. Sorry, Dr. Rotimi, could you please turn down the volume of your TV set? It's howling back at us, so we could get clear signals from you.
It's off.
Okay. Now, Dr. Rotimi, you said something about government losing control. Can we categorically say that they have lost, the government has lost control, in the sense that they say that they're doing all in their power, but that when one attack happens, it tends to rubbish everything else that they've done?
Well, what they are doing now that we can see is that the Boko Haram strikes, then there is a reprisal attack. And in Kano and Maiduguri now, that has become a daily occurrence. So if the government is talking about what they are doing, we're asking, we're like looking out for what is the impact of what the government is doing. What the government is doing that is regular and is fairly, I would say effective, is issuing this pro forma statement of commiseration after the attack, and then the usual refrain to make sure that we are not intimidated, we combat terrorists. But it's becoming ineffectual. And mouthing it that you are going to do something as distinct from having the effect visible. These are two different things. All of this points to the lack of concern for the regular security agencies that should have been concerned with collecting intelligence, and then we focus more on the armed group. And then the continued combating of the Boko Haram element by JTF is not working. It's not working because every time the JTF strikes, the Boko Haram strikes again, and it's perhaps deadlier. So I really don't know. I don't know. I think others have to come into the picture.
Could you give us your perspective, Dr. Rotimi, on the role of policing in all of this? Because, I mean, they're supposed to feature prominently because we know naturally